Could we talk for a moment about equity and diversity, which is obviously a very important topic? You shared a fact as we were talking before the session about Chicago and how a full 20% of school-age kids didn't have access to the internet. What role do libraries play? And obviously, can't play their full role at the moment in the pandemic, but as Sarah said, many kids have used the Wi-Fi at the library.
Such a crucial role that libraries play in this respect. So yeah, scrolling back to last spring, of course, the pandemic hit in March in full force, and in the spring term, schools went online very abruptly without a whole lot of planning for it. So you had those months when, for the first time, students had to just pop online to do school, and teachers had to pop online to do school. And in Chicago, the number was an estimate that over 20% of the kids in the Chicago public schools, which is amounts to more than 100,000 students, didn't have access to the internet and therefore couldn't go to school. And the effort, of course, was, first you would say, well, libraries can fill that void. And to some extent, that's true if a student can get themselves to a parking lot of a library when they're shut, right? To be able to access the internet, and assuming they have a good device, to go to school. Now, is that a good arrangement for a student to go to school on their phone in a parking lot of a library? Not ideal, right, as a learning environment. And I think the net effect is, the learning loss that we see for that percentage of students. And that obviously cuts mostly socioeconomically. So it is more likely that poor families are not going to have that kind of access. And in this pandemic, when libraries can't be open, they can't be that last resort. And as you note, it is a diversity issue, because it is more likely, certainly in Chicago, but I think in lots of places around the United States, that the correspondence of those who are lower SES, lower socioeconomic status, also tend to be Black and Latinx, maybe more likely to be newcomers to the country, kids who are maybe learning the language, English as a second language, and so forth, who actually really need this access more than others. So it's a very severe, I think, equity topic, and one where libraries do play this incredible role of both first and last resort in this way. And there was a lot of pressure on that last spring, and certainly libraries have stepped up in some remarkable ways between then and now to ensure that school children can get access, but it remains an acute issue.